Alright, Sunday, January 14, 2024. Let's get right into the A10CII training. I'm at the second training, Takeoff and Basic Handling. So let's go for it. Alright, let's see. We're still flying from Batumi. I don't think we have to worry about radios or altimeter. Let's go.
Welcome to the Takeoff and Basic Handling training flight. Today, you're taking the A10CII for a spin. In this lesson, we'll perform a standard takeoff followed by some basic maneuvers at medium altitude. Press the spacebar key when you are ready to begin.
Let's see what we got going on here. Alright, anti-skid, landing lights are on. All those are in safe mode. All the SAS switches are on. EAC, radar altimeter's on. VHF, UHF, and FM radios are on and have frequencies in them. HUD's looking good. Our HMCS is off. We'll leave it off. That's right here for the head-mounted cueing system for the training. Alright, we've got 4,000 pounds of fuel. Let's do it. Spacebar.
Things will happen rather quickly once you begin to roll, so let's review the takeoff sequence. After a final check of the instruments, you'll begin to roll at max engine power. Your main focus will be on using nose wheel steering to maintain the aircraft on runway center during the roll. Once the rudders become effective above 50 knots, you will disengage nose wheel steering. At 120 knots, begin to raise the nose by gently pulling back on the stick and setting a pitch angle of 10 degrees on the ADI. This will be a safety critical element of takeoff. Pulling up too fast can lead to striking the aircraft's tail on the runway or lifting off with too much angle of attack, leading to a stall and possible crash. Once the aircraft is safely airborne and climbing, raise the landing gear and flaps. Accelerate to 180 knots and maintain the speed in the climb to altitude. Prior to starting the takeoff roll, a number of final checks are performed to ensure the aircraft's safe operation. Ensure the anti-skid switch is set to on. If not already done, turn on pitot tube heating on the environmental control panel.
It is on.
Now hold down the wheel brakes by pressing and holding the W key and increase throttle to 85% core RPM. Monitor your flight and engine instruments for any abnormalities. Look around the cockpit and check the caution lights panel to ensure no malfunctions are reported. Press the spacebar key to proceed once everything checks out.
Core RPM, I want to bring up to 85%. I've got the wheel brakes on, let's go for it. There we go. No caution signals or labels. No warning. I'd say everything's pretty happy. Alright.
You are now ready for takeoff. Take a note of your current heading as you will maintain this after takeoff. To begin the roll, release the wheel brakes and advance the throttles to max.
Actually, we're right here. 310 degrees. Alright, here we go. Let's see how well I do.
Use careful nose wheel steering commands to keep the aircraft running straight down the center of the runway. Press the Hold Task pinky button or insert to disable nose wheel steering.
Disable the steering.
Gently pull back on the stick to raise the nose to 10 degrees pitch on the ADI and hold it. Maintain 10 degrees of pitch. Raise the landing gear by pressing G and the flaps by pressing left shift plus F. The landing gear horn will sound while the landing gear is in transition. Adjust your pitch angle to maintain 180 knots indicated airspeed in the climb, and check the vertical velocity indicator to monitor your rate of climb. Your desired rate of climb will depend on a number of factors, including the aircraft weight, range, and altitude of the steer point. However, 180 knots indicated airspeed is a good average climb speed.
Well, we can pitch up a little bit more here.
Maintain a heading of 300 degrees and 180 knots. Level out at 5,000 feet. Scan your instruments vertically from the HUD down to the ADI and HSI, and then horizontally across the front dash from the airspeed indicator to the altimeter and vertical velocity indicator.
Alright, we're at 183 knots. That's pretty good. About 300 degrees. 4,000 feet.
Approaching 5,000 feet. Let's level out here. We'll pick up some airspeed and max engine power.
Alright.
Flying over water can be disorienting, so let's turn inland. Turn right to 040.
Let's get up to 500. There we go. Whoops. Down to 5,000 here. Alright, that's 20 degrees. 30 degrees. Come on, 40 degrees. There we go.
Let's talk a bit about airspeed. While you may want to fly at maximum speed to get where you're going as fast as possible, you have to keep in mind fuel consumption and designated times of arrival. As such, you will generally fly at speeds less than maximum and preferably close to your cruise speed, which is the most efficient speed for your current aircraft payload and altitude.
Come on, Bruce, get your nose up. Yeah, I'm doing great. Alright, there's 5,000. Sheesh! What was I supposed to do? Oh, shit. Come on, Bruce. You tell me to lower my speed.
Let's try to decelerate. There are a number of ways you can reduce airspeed, including reducing engine RPM, opening the speed brakes, and pitching the nose up the climb. For now, let's simply reduce engine power. Pull the throttles back and watch the airspeed indications on the HUD and front dash begin to decrease.
Alright, throttle's coming down to idle.
Good. Now let's accelerate by advancing the throttles back to max.
still holding it at 5,000. Alright, maximum throttle.
Now let's perform a climb. Take the nose up to 20 degrees of pitch by referencing the ADI on the front dash. Climb to 12,000 feet.
Here we go. 10 degrees. 20 degrees. Right there.
Watch the altitude and airspeed readings on the HUD and instrument panel. Take note of the altitude increasing and airspeed decreasing. Check the VVI to monitor your rate of climb. It's critical to maintain control of your airspeed or you will quickly approach a stall scenario. If your airspeed begins to fall below 160 knots, reduce your climb rate by lowering the nose to a smaller pitch angle.
Alright, we're at 194. 180.
The A10 does not have a very high thrust-to-weight ratio, so cannot zoom climb like fighter jets. However, with the Hog lacks in engine power, it makes up for in engine durability and endurance.
170. 160. Let's lower the nose a little. 11,000 feet. Okay, get back to 40
Level out
degrees.
at 12,000 feet.
Here we go. 11.5. 7. 8. 9.
The A10 service ceiling is 45,000 feet. However, given the nature of the A10 design and function, you are likely to spend most of your time in altitudes below 25,000 feet.
Alright.
The next maneuver will be a dive. Before we begin, keep in mind a couple of things. Although we are 12,000 feet above sea level, the surface of the Earth can be a lot closer, so we'll only drop about 5,000 feet and recover at 7,000. Also, our speed will increase rapidly in the dive, and we need to be careful not to overspeed the aircraft. Overspeeding is highly dangerous and can lead to catastrophic structural failure.
Alright.
Pull the throttle back and push the stick forward to make your pitch 20 degrees nose down. Watch your altitude decrease and speed increase as you dive. Recover at 7,000 feet.
Pitch down to 20 degrees. Oh boy! Pitch down 20 degrees. Cover at 7,000.
Coming up on 7,000 feet, level out.
Whoa. Let's get up here. There we go.
For our last maneuver of the day, we'll try a level turn. Turning is not difficult, but turning well does require attentiveness and coordination. The goal of a level turn is to complete the maneuver with minimal deviation in speed and altitude from your initial conditions. A level turn will consist of initial roll input on the stick, followed by a slight pull, and rudder input into the turn to maintain altitude and minimize side slip as indicated by the slip ball on the ADI. However, too much input on either the stick or rudder will quickly increase drag and angle of attack, leading to a drastic loss of speed and potential loss of control.
Let's get back up to 7,000 here. Come on.
We'll perform a 360-degree left turn from a heading of 040 at 7,000 feet and 280 knots. Go ahead and set the jet to these initial conditions.
280, okay. Come come up a little bit.
Set. Stabilize at this speed and altitude before starting the turn. Remember, try to maintain the airspeed and altitude throughout the turn. Use the total velocity vector on the HUD to maintain altitude, and step on the ADI ball using the rudder to minimize side slip. Begin when ready.
Here we go. Left turn. Feet. Pretty good. 180 degrees. $120, 100. Altitude's coming back to 7,000. There we go, get your nose up. There we go, that's close. 40.
Well done. We will end our training flight here.
Whew. Managed to get through that. Let's see, is there any place interesting to finish this? Let's go down somewhere. Nothing very interesting here. 3,000 feet. To find a canyon to go through. That could be fun. Here's one up ahead, I think. Radar altimeter says we're at 800 feet. Here we go.
Altitude, altitude.
Don't hit the treetops. There we go.
Altitude, altitude.
Road. Now. Well, no valleys to go through. Guess we'll just strafe this city and call it a day.
Altitude, altitude. Altitude, altitude.
Alright, hey, let's go over this way. Maximum throttle. Yeah, this looks interesting. Let's go in here. Fun. Gotta have some fun with this thing. Can't be all training. We're at 1,000 feet from the ground or the treetops. I don't know what it senses. But we're down in the thick of it. Looks like this ends though. Oh, that's rude. Oh well. Let's see what's beyond this. I'm at maximum throttle still, by the way. Alright, if there's nothing beyond this rise, I guess we'll end the video. Nothing interesting here. What we got over here? Turn the head-mounted cueing system back on. While we're flying level here, let me see if I can get to it. That's better. Alright, what do we got here? Not much there. Not much there. Let's go down here. Feet, 600,
altitude, altitude.
500. Alright, I guess we'll leave this area.
Pull up, pull up.
Alright. You can see the HMCS. Hey, let's dive here. This could be fun.
Pull up, pull up.
Alright. After we dive bomb this city, we'll
pull up, pull up.
end this video. Whoop. What I was going to say is this queuing system does show you in the lower right your radar altimeter, so you know how high you are above ground, and all that other extra information. It's interesting. Alright. I think we're gonna call it a day. Well,
pull up, pull up.
Dive.
Altitude,
500
altitude.
feet. And there we are. that's it. Hope you enjoyed it. And that's all for now. Next session will be soon.